Well guys, the Christmas season is over, and it's that time of year again where we start preparing for the year that follows, 2025, and it's looking like 2025 is finally going to be the massive year that we've been waiting for a long time now. Yes, looks like Switch 2 is just right around the corner, which also means tons of brand new games. But every single year around this time, we do the same thing where we talk about every single possible Mario game that could actually happen. Not only is next year super important because of Switch 2 definitely launching sometime in the year, but I think it's really important also considering the fact that it is Mario's 40th anniversary. So clearly there's going to be some exciting stuff for the plumber, whether it be mainline or even spin-off games. So today I have a long list of things that I think are possible for the Mario series. So they're not confirmed, it's not things that I'm even predicting to happen, but I'm just giving you a list of all the reasonable things that we could expect to come out of Mario for a brand new Mario title. Real quick before we get started, I want to thank you guys so much for your recent support. Literally on just yesterday's video alone, we reached 220 brand new subscribers. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and being interested in the channel. Let's see if we can get just as much with today's video. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let's jump into the video of every possible Mario game we could get in the year of 2025. Now before we get started also, I want to start off with what I did last year, and for 2024's predictions, this is the list of games that I thought had at least a chance. Once again, I didn't predict any of these to happen, I'm just saying games that could happen. I said 3D open world Mario game, which I've been saying for the last 2 to 3 years, still nothing. I said a new Mario Kart, which obviously still didn't happen either. I said a Mario Sports title, something around Mario Sports. I was hoping for baseball, none of those happened. I said a new Donkey Kong, which kind of happened, not the way I wanted to. Well, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD got announced for 2025, so I mean, you can count that maybe. I said a DK movie or Mario Bros. 2 movie announcement, and they did announce that the Mario Bros. 2 movie would be coming in 2026. Nothing else there though. I said a new Mario Party, we got Jamboree. I wanted a Mario Wonder update or DLC, and I thought that could have been possible. That didn't happen. A new Yoshi game, which you could also say maybe kind of, because the same team with good feel actually made Princess Peach Showtime. So in a way, not really, because it wasn't Yoshi. So yes and no. I also said there is a potential for a new Captain Toad and Mario Galaxy 2 to happen, which none of those happened. Overall, I got about 4 or 5 out of the 10, which isn't terrible. Once again, I'm not predicting anything, I was just straight up saying what could happen, so it's pretty interesting that almost half of that list came true. Although I wish the other half was the part that came true, but that's for this year's video. Well, last time we started off with things that we know so far, and it's not as long of a list as last year's was. In fact, it's only one Mario game that you could count, which is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. We know that comes out January 16th, which is literally just in about 2 to 3 weeks, which is pretty exciting, I guess. Not really. I mean, it's a game that's been remade already for the 3DS and comes back again for the Switch, but you know what? It's still also not the new Donkey Kong game a lot of us want, but it's something. There is a Mario game kind of slated for next year, in a way. But we're not here for that. We're here for the new stuff. And like I said before, this is all going to be Switch 2 focused. It's very clear and very evident, at least to me, that Nintendo's gearing up for Switch 2. It's been a pretty boring year, with only one Nintendo Direct and a couple of new games towards the end of the year, but they've been smaller, more spin-off games. It's time for the big stuff, and I think Switch 2 is going to bring in a whole new generation of games for next year and the year after, which I can't wait for. But starting off, yes, a lot of the beginning of this list is going to look just like last year's, because oh my gosh, it's time. It's time, it's time, it's time. I was tired of making this video every single year, every single time. Look, Mario has to happen. It's Mario's 40th anniversary. 3D Mario, please. Yes, I still want it to be that giant open world exploration game with platforming challenges. I've talked about it a million times. I'm not going to keep talking about it. Please, Nintendo, it has to be time. We're pushing 8 years since Odyssey. I mean, come on. At this point, it would only make sense to be a big title for year 1 of Switch 2. Whether it's launching at the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026, I think we're finally, well, actually, I'm going to say this. I know we're finally going to see this 3D Mario game next year, because if we don't, there is a serious problem. And the same thing goes for Mario Kart. It is definitely time. It's been over a decade since the original Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. It is time. It's something that should be a launch title for the new console, whether it be 3D Mario or Mario Kart. One of these should be, if it's not a launch title, within the first couple of months of the launch of Switch 2. I can't wait to see what they're cooking up, because it's been so long, and it's another another thing that I think is 100% going to be shown off next year in some capacity. I think both of these games are going to be shown off at the beginning of next year. I think it's relatively soon. I can't possibly see how we go another year without hearing anything about 3D Mario or Mario Kart, especially if Switch 2, is supposedly coming out towards the beginning or middle of next year. There's no way. There's no possible humane way we are going to see these games finally, and I am expecting to get one of those games next year as well. Once again, just like last year, I'm expecting a Mario sports title. It's been since June of 2022, so about 2.5 years since we got Mario Strikers Battle League, and we all know how that went. So please, Nintendo, I would really love something that we haven't seen in a while, like a Mario Baseball, just sounds perfect, or even a Mario Basketball. I still would love American football, but who knows if Nintendo will ever do that. But this is something that should start off that first year of Nintendo's brand new console. A really good, well-developed sports game this time around. Not like the sports games we got on Switch 1. Let's see something, a little bit more effort given, please. I think it's time. I think it makes sense, and I think basketball or baseball makes the most sense to me. I could also see them being weird and doing another sports mix, which I really hope doesn't happen, because when they do that, all the sports are pretty lackluster. So please just spend all your time and effort and development into one big grand sport. I'm once again going back to Yoshi and saying there is still potential for a new Yoshi game. Now, I don't know if it's going to be developed by the same team of Good Feel because they just finished Princess Peach Showtime, so maybe it's a completely different team that actually turns Yoshi into something different, which I would actually like to see. Instead of the same crafted Woolly World 2D platformers, maybe something along the lines of a 3D platformer could be really cool. Something like 3D World, or maybe that same arts and crafts style that Crafted World and Woolly World had, but in 3D could be really, really cool. It's been since 2019 since we got Crafted World, so almost 6 years, so it's finally time in my book for a new Yoshi game, and why not drop one next year, or at least announce it for next year. And I'm also, once again, going back to Mario Galaxy 2, because it's so strange that it's one of the few games that Nintendo decided to not bring back. Why not? You have Galaxy 1, you have Sunshine, you have 64, you have 3D World with an additional mode of Bowser's Fury, you have Odyssey, you have all these games. Where is Galaxy 2? It also makes me kind of think that maybe it could be coming back as a lot bigger of a game than we thought. Maybe more of a remake, adding new galaxies and extra modes. One could dream, right? But probably not. This one's probably very unlikely, actually. I just got to put it on the list because it's weird that it's the only Mario game, only 3D Mario game outside of like 3D Land that we haven't gotten yet. Now here's some games that I didn't add last year because I felt like it was still a little too soon, but now it's definitely possible. Luigi's Mansion 4. I think this is a game that's on a lot of people's radar because of how well Luigi's Mansion 3 sold. A lot of people can't wait to see what the next game's gonna look like. Myself, probably one of the biggest games I'm excited for. It's been since October of 2019, which has been about 5 years. So yeah, it's definitely time for new Luigi's Mansion soon. And I can see this either being announced or actually revealed to come out next year, which would be pretty daggone huge. Luigi's Mansion is crawling up, kind of solidifying itself as one of the greater series for Nintendo, which is super exciting, and I can't wait to see how ambitious they go with 4. But in that same exact boat, you can say Mario Maker 3, or maybe even finally Mario Maker 3D. It's been since June of 2019, so also 5 years, so it'll be great to see exactly what the team has been cooking up for the next Mario Maker. Now, if I know anything about Nintendo, they're just gonna make it another 2D Mario Maker with just tons of new stuff added, with maybe even some more game styles. Well, I would hope some more game styles, more than just one this time around, like they did with 3D World. But I still personally am holding out for that 3D Mario Maker because I feel like it has limitless potential. There's so much they could do with a 3D Mario Maker. Man, I just really hope it happens. Being able to play 3D Mario Maker levels seriously sounds like an endless amount of fun. More endless than 2D Mario, I can tell you that. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what in the world they're cooking up, but maybe both of these games have a very high chance of being revealed next year. Something else we have is Captain Toad once again. I think we could still see some type of puzzle game with Captain Toad, which would be really, really cool. The OG came out in 2014 on the Wii U and the Switch in 2018, so about 10 years since Wii U, 6 years since Switch, and I feel like this is a game that actually has a really good chance of coming back. I feel like a lot of people liked Captain Toad in the puzzle aspect, and I would love to see what else they could do with it by making it bigger and better. And a 2D Wario Land game. Where in the world is the Wario Land series? Like, seriously, it's been gone since Wario Land Shake It in 2008. That was 16 years ago. it's definitely time. And the fact that we might not have any other 2D Mario or anything like that for next year, considering the fact that, you know, it could go to Mario Maker 3 depending on what they do with that game. But yeah, Wario Land needs to happen. It's very strange. Wario has only gotten micro games, actually 2 different micro games on the Switch. It's time for a platformer, Nintendo. Now these are unlikely, I'll be honest, but I just wanted to mention them because there's some slight potential. Nintendo just went absolute Mario RPG crazy. The Switch has 2 Paper Mario games, a Mario & Luigi game, and 2 Mario Rabbids games, plus Mario RPG. Yeah, it is a great system to have your Mario RPG games, but with that said, I think there's a slight chance we could be getting at least an announcement of another. Yes, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake just actually came out, literally in May of 2024, but that last original game was in July of 2020 with Paper Mario: The Origami King, so that was 4 years ago. Once again, I very much doubt it, but there's a slight chance maybe if the team also split development or something and already started a new game as they were working on the Thousand Year Door. I doubt it. I think all their efforts and investments went into the Thousand Year Door remake because it's just almost a different game how much they changed. Unfortunately, we're going to probably have to wait a while, but I thought I'd just bring that up just in case. And the same thing could be said about Mario RPG. I don't know if that same development team or a similar development team that could be working on a future Mario RPG game is just too busy, you know, working on that game, and they just now started plans on the next one. But maybe there's a slight chance we could see something along those lines. But I would also like a surprise. Something that's just completely out of left field. Something like they did with Mario Rabbids. I'm not talking about another one. I want something completely original, something new. Maybe Mario and Sonic has some new collaboration game or something that's outside of the Olympics. Like, what if we even got like a Warriors game with the Mario characters or something like that, or another crazy spin-off like Mario Dance Dance Revolution came back and you use the Joy-Con instead of a dance pad, Mario Pinball, maybe even a Lego Mario game. Something that's just completely random and something that catches us by surprise would be great. And finally, I know this isn't a video game, it's a movie, but still, I mentioned it last year and I think I should mention it again. We probably will finally see that first reveal trailer for Mario Bros. Movie 2, which the movie, I believe, is coming out in April of 2026. So yeah, they're going to have to reveal something next year. Maybe even the cast look and just stuff like they did similarly last time, you know, but within the Nintendo Direct, we might get a cast look, a little sneak peek at something, maybe a new character reveal that's in that movie or something. And maybe even the announcement, because there's been some rumors of a Donkey Kong movie and a Luigi's Mansion movie being made as well as spin-off movies. So maybe we get something along those lines, but we'll definitely hear something about Mario Movie 2 next year at some point sooner or later. I'm not even joking, next year has the potential to be the biggest year ever for Nintendo. Not only is it a new console launch, but also it's time for a new 3D Mario, it's time for Mario Kart, it's time for a lot of Nintendo's IPs, and not even mentioning the fact that, yeah, we'll probably get reveals of the next Mario movie within the same year as well, which is just crazy to think about. Like I just said, this video was all about Mario. We haven't even talked about the other franchises for Nintendo, which will be saved for a separate 2025 prediction video. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys want to see that video, you're going to want to make sure you leave a like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you're updated whenever I post, and it's going to be a wild ride as we get ready for next year. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.